Welcome back to this week's edition of Modern Tech and Transformation. We have a familiar face with us today, Bimal Soni, Senior Vice President of ERP Modernization at Resolve Tech Solutions. Welcome back, Bimal.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Last episode, when Bimal joined us, we talked about SAP assessments, and we gave you a little teaser that we would be back to talk about the S4 HANA migrations. So some of you might already be in the process, but some of you may have not started yet. And as you know, end of mainstream support will be in 2027, and we know we don't want to incur additional maintenance costs. So it's really important to start migrating, and end of life will be right behind that in 2030. So let's dive right in. Bimal, what advice would you give to a company on SAP that has not started their migration yet?
So the main advice will be, if you have not started, start. They need to start looking into that. Customers should start looking into that because we know that the end of mainstream support and end of life deadlines are coming. There are many customers who hasn't even started on this journey. And it is going to create a rush and it is going to increase their cost. Mm-hmm. More importantly though, by not moving to a newer platform, the business is losing on the capabilities and innovations that the next generation SAP platform offers, which keeps them competitive and allows them to compete in the market. So the best advice is start talking to the partner you trust and embark on your journey.
And let's talk about how to start and what the approaches are in migrating. I know that it's not a one-size-fits-all for some companies. So you've done different types of migrations. Can you walk us through what those look like?
Sure. So let's start with a common kind of a customer condition situations where they are on their transformation journey. Typically, customers implemented their ERPs in late 90s or mid 2000s, and they implemented and ran an ERP on premise. So some of those customers who are still running the ERP on premise. And there are other customers who have migrated their ERP infrastructure in cloud. They are still running older version of ERP, which is ECC, but they are running on cloud. Mm-hmm. And there are another third set of customers who are actually running S4, maybe an earlier version of S4, and they are already on a cloud. And there are all possible combinations within this situations. So we see that as there are three possible ways to transition. If customer is looking to go to S4 HANA and on cloud, there are three possible ways to go about it. The number one, customers, those who are on-premise, they can go to the cloud first. They do not upgrade to S4 HANA. They go to the cloud first and then go to the S4 HANA. The customers who are on-premise, who cannot go to the cloud for any reason, can upgrade their on-premise ECC to S4 HANA. And the third customers who are already on ECC or S4 HANA, they can get to the latest version of S4 HANA, or they can transform their ECC to HANA on cloud. So essentially, there are three scenarios. The customers who are on-prem on ECC, they can upgrade to S4 HANA on-prem. The customers who are on-prem on ECC, they can go to cloud first and then transform to S4 HANA. And the customers who are on ECC on cloud, they can transform to S4 HANA on cloud.
So one interesting thing that you just said is going from ECC to cloud and then S4 HANA. Why add that extra step?
So essentially, the main reason for that to do is basically breaking down the journey into multiple phases. And it actually allows a customer to tackle, to analyze and handle the challenges that are associated with a different set of objectives. So when customer migrates to cloud, they get an opportunity to analyze their current system landscape, and they can see what are the systems that are integrating into SAP, and if there is an opportunity to modernize them or sunset them or make any changes. So it allows them to look into the technical debt, and also all the complexity related to the cloud migration goes out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And the second phase, they can focus on primarily on the business transformation and designing a solution architecture that will meet their future business requirements. So just to break it down, the project into multiple phases helps to manage the complexity of the project. That's number one. The other reason could be the budget, the money that customer wants to spend every year on their technology initiatives.
No, very good. And that makes sense. And I feel like that might be, in my opinion, might be the safer way to go. But I'm not an SAP expert. So with these three paths, how do you decide what's right for your business?
So this will depend on every customer. Each customer is unique. Their requirements are unique. And that's what we do when we perform an SAP assessment. Mm-hmm. We look at the customer's unique situations and business requirements, and then come up with a strategy to guide them which path is better. For example, if customer's business hasn't really changed, it is easier for them to do a technical upgrade from ECC, meaning upgrade in ECC to S4HANA, because they don't need to build any new solutions or processes. Mm-hmm. So a one-step solution may be feasible for them. Whereas customers whose business has significantly changed, their industry has changed, their customer has changed, and then they need a different capabilities to run their business efficiently. That will require a lot more analysis. So we will recommend them it may be better to go down the path of multiple phases and tackle those phases in smaller chunks.
And what are some milestones companies can expect on this journey as they're transforming to S4HANA?
So there are three milestones, I would say, that are broadly applicable to any customer. The first milestone, if customer is still on-prem, then they migrate to the cloud. They migrate their infrastructure to the cloud. That's one big milestone. The second big milestone will be upgrading their ECC environment to S4HANA. Now, in addition to that, customer may need additional capabilities, such as they might need a success factor because they want to move away from the HCM HR solution that is built in ECC to a more modern cloud-based system. So that implementation could follow after the migration of the migration of ECC to S4HANA. Similarly, there are several new dimensional SAP and non-SAP products that business might need to run their business efficiently, and creating a roadmap to implement them will basically define the series of milestones to help customers' transformation journey.
So you've been doing S4HANA migrations for several years. Can you tell us a success story or a lesson learned? Actually, both. Let's do both. Lesson learned, because those are very important, right? We know these ERP modernization projects, they're painful. They're not easy. Most people, when they hear them, they're like, oh, not something I'm looking forward to, but it's something you really love doing. So let's talk through some lessons learned and some success stories as we wrap up.
Sure. So some of the lessons learned from my past experience is it is important to treat S4HANA as a business transformation, not a technology transformation. For most of the companies, doing an ERP transformation is a highly capital intensive event, and they want to make most out of it. Technology is built to run the business efficiently. So it is important that the both aspects of the transformation are looked into. What is needed for a business transformation and how the solution will help achieve the business transformation and capabilities for the future. Second thing is that it is important to have a partner who has done this many times successfully at your side. That experience is invaluable. and that will save a lot of time and a cost. Please look into breaking down the journey into multiple phases. Again, it helps to manage the challenges in a smaller chunks rather than trying to do all of them together. Most important thing would be an engagement of the business into this technology transformation. And without the active engagement of the business users in technology transformation, business will not get what they want. So it's really, really important that the business leader make it a priority to engage their users throughout the transformation journey.
And with those lessons learned, can you share a success story throughout your career in implementing S4HANA?
So I'll talk about the S4HANA transformation project that I have personally led. The company that I was working for, we upgraded from Suite on HANA to S4HANA, and that project was extremely complex. We had a very tight schedule, and we were able to actually complete that project ahead of schedule, under budget, and with a minimum disruption to the business.
That's huge.
And that project was recognized by SAP as a customer success story, and it was a moment of proud for the team who led that project, and of course for me as the leader.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming back and being part of the podcast. And just to emphasize what Bimal said, if you have not started, just start, partner with the right people, and the S4HANA transformation won't be as tedious or scary, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So thank you again, Bimal, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for having me again.